GM. GM. So, I am about to drop some fucking alpha on you. One of the most common questions I get. I see students love the crypto screener. So I have a lesson on this, the TradingView Crypto Pair Screener. So you can scan for active coins. And in that lesson, which you can find over here in the Learning Center, trading lessons, systems, finding the best coins to trade, active coin selection, and a run through of the TradingView Crypto Screener, right? Helps you filter through all the dog shit and find coins that are active. Now I give some example filters to put in it, which is called the MG Screener, and it is volume above 1 million, relative volume above or equal to 2, and then rank them by volatility. You want to see what the volatility is doing, and then filter it by your exchange. I get a common question though, Michael, how do I find coins before they pump? Because when I use the screener, it finds coins after they pump. Now, understand this. That is the intention of those settings. Those settings are designed to find coins that have already shown high volume. Those are great coins to trade because if they've shown an increase in volume, even if they've already pumped, it means there's volatility. There's going to be wild price movements, which is great for scalpers, day traders, or even potentially sometimes swing traders. But if you're not a scalper or day trader and you want to find coins that are going to pump, at some point, first of all, you're never going to know exactly. You're never going to know exactly how to get it, right? That's the first thing. It's not possible. Not possible to know 100%. But there are some things we can do. Namely, we can use the pair screener in different ways. So what I want to do is I want you to think about the logic behind what happens to a coin before it pumps. Now, I was going to do it with a live example today, but there's not much volatility in the market today. These coins aren't really moving. So I'm going to go back and look at YGG. And we'll go on to replay mode and we'll look back to YGG before its big pump. So YGG was on the screener. It was one of the biggest pumps of this year, a crazy scam pump that caused a lot of volatility and some great trading conditions. So I'm going to talk about two things, and then I want you to think yourself about why I chose those and what else could I possibly use, right? First is going to be moving averages, right? If you're wanting to find a coin that before it pumps, okay, then understand that before they pump, they do follow a semi-reliable pattern. They will be trending up, so they will make higher highs and higher lows. And then you have this last big spike. So you want to get in before all of this, right? You want to get in here or here or here or here or wherever. You don't want to have to get in here if you're trying to get long. Cool. So to get there, it must be in some type of uptrend. So let's put on moving averages. I'm just going to use the 50, 100, and 200 EMAs. You can use the MA or the EMA. Test them both. I just anecdotally find that 50 period, 100 period, and 200 period EMAs are good on some altcoins. Moving average, EMA, again, very little difference in them. Try them both. But the principle, as I talk about in the Swing Trading Masterclass, for any uptrend is that the 50 must be above the 100, which must be above the 200. So here we are on the daily chart, and let's run it right until YGG pumps, okay? So right now, and just so you know, the 50 is the purple, the light purple, the 100 is the red, and the 200 is the turquoise light blue. So you need the purple over the red over the blue. So we have it the wrong way around because it's in a downtrend, which you'd expect. Now, then away it goes. Boom. So in this example on the daily chart, we just see that all of YGG's pump happens and it smashes through everything. You never get it. You can never get an indicator. You never get a signal from the bands. Does that mean the bands don't work? No. It just means, okay, well, the first thing I said, was it trending up before the pump? Yes, it was. You had a low. You had a high, you had a higher low, you had a higher high, then a pullback into a higher low, and then the pump. So YGG did the perfect pattern before the big pump. Now, let's go to a lower time frame. Let's try a 4-hour. And let's go back, and let's look through this. And guys, this is how I have taught myself how to trade, right? by being curious, thinking, asking yourself questions, and then replay trade, replay trade, replay trade. Look for patterns, tendencies. What does the market tend to do before these events? A pattern is not a bull flag or a bear flag. A pattern is something simple, right? Does it make higher highs and higher lows? Yes, every single coin before it has a big pump makes higher highs and higher lows. Oh, interesting. Well, then I should look for higher highs and higher lows. But you don't want to look for extreme higher highs and higher lows, right? You don't want to see this, because that's probably already overextending. You want to see something that's nicely just grinding up, sort of ominously, ready for its smash. So that's the first part. Now let's check the 4 hour. So remember, we need purple over red over blue. As we play it through here. So we still have it the wrong way around. We're still in the downtrend. You don't have to do anything here on YGG. So if you're tracking YGG from the 10th until the 24th, you do nothing. This is a key point. You're going to be tempted to buy YGG here for whatever reasons. Remember your system. Remember your trade. It can take months to set these trades up. Because guess what? It takes months for the market makers and the smart money to accumulate these positions. And everything has to line up right. The timing has to be right. The market has to be in the right condition. So many things. Here we go. So still, you check back in again. This was the 10th of June. You check back in 5 weeks later. YGG, still nothing. Now we're starting to move a bit. Now we're seeing the purple just above the blue above the reds. We don't have it fully yet. 4 hour chart. Here we go. Now we have purple above red above blue. Now we have YGG uptrend, low, high, higher low, higher high. This pump was a pump, but this was not the massive squeeze, right? This is just, it's starting an uptrend. You look above. Does YGG have room to go up higher? Absolutely. Excellent. So this is what we want to see. So now what are we looking for? Well, we have a high, a low, a higher low, right? So let's just look at the two lows. So we need a higher low to form somewhere in here, right? So we like to play on. Comes into the bands, holds them, and then away it starts to go, right? So there's an early indicator, low, high, higher low, higher high, excuse me. Price comes into the bands, right? It flipped them into a bullish trend. You can even see here we had a breakout, so you can combine different price action principles. We had a BOS over here, started off with a false breakout, then a full breakout, and what's this? This is a support resistance flip. So does this happen? Again, take this, test this across different pumped coins. Do they flip resistance into support before the pump? It held a 50 EMA perfectly, right? So what about entries? Well, once you have a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high, maybe your entry could be anywhere at the bands with a stop loss below the market structure, or even below the bands if you're being a bit more aggressive. Depends on what way you want to do it, right? And then away it goes. And there you go. That would have got you in at 17 cents. YGG ended up going to a peak of 73. Of course, you're not trying to catch every tick of every move, but that is one valid way to get in early. Now, that's one simplistic hindsight example, of course. It doesn't mean that it's easy to do that. It doesn't mean that you can do that every single time, but you absolutely can apply that logic. Now, to make this even more robust, let's add another rule. I'm giving you a second rule, and you can use these on the screener. You can code your screener to tell you whether it is above the 50, 100, 200. You can code your screener to tell you about RSI, Relative Strength Index. So let's look at the RSI on the daily. So, first of all, why the moving averages? You want to look for coins where price is above certain moving averages, 50, 100, 200, but it hasn't experienced a big pump. So that's your logic, is above 50, which is above the 100, which is above the 200 on the 4 hour or whatever chart, and it hasn't experienced a big pump. Okay, it has not had a massive blow off top. It hasn't had extremely elevated volume. It hasn't been on the top page of Bybit or Binance. It's not in the top 10 volume coins. It doesn't have insane hype. It's not all over the news. It's not all over Twitter, right? it hasn't had its crazy move. It's just moving like the market. So if YGG was up 10% one day, but other altcoins are up 10%, that's not a crazy move. That's just the market moving up. Excuse me. RSI. Now, find coins where the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, find coins where it's trending up, but is still below overbought. Simple, right? Here's a logic. The RSI has to go above 70 on the daily to be overbought. But we all know, at least you should know, that when it goes to 70, it's very rarely the end. It often goes way beyond that. So if you find something that's trending up and the daily RSI is at 50, 60, 65, you are totally fine to look for trades there because it will not turn and reverse at 70. It will always go past it. And if you even look here, look at when YGG hit 70 back in January. It hit 70 there and then it remained overbought for weeks and price continued from 24 cents up to 41. Right? Now let's take the same logic. You want to find a coin before it has its pump. All right, so here we are. Now we're at this point. We're right before the pump. Low, high, higher low, higher high. It's coming back in. Now these bands, these are on the daily, but remember your bands on the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, you're sitting right at the 50 EMA. What is RSI doing? Trending up. So it's trended up and it's slowly trending up. Not hit 70 yet. Still not overbought. Trending up, trending up, trending up. We've had a little bit of a volume increase. Everything looking good. So if your RSI is below 70, it's trending up on the 4 hour, it's above the bands, it's held to 50. What more can you ask for? Take your shot. Will it work every time? No. But that's not the game. The game is not to be perfect every single time. Because guess what? If you're right once, that's all you need. You only need to be right once in every what? If you're right once in 3, even a 33% win rate, where you're getting 10-hour winners, you're going to come out ahead. So, take this and test it. That is literally a hand-built system for you. I hope you enjoy. Guess that's my Thanksgiving present. But also, don't assume that that's like the only system that ever you can use. But you can make better ones. You can improve it. You can do what works for you. Okay?